Alexander Isak Newcastle transfer situation is sour. It's time for Liverpool to pay up. Liverpool transfer target Alexander Isak has reportedly made it clear he won't play again for Newcastle United. Newcastle United striker and Liverpool target Alexander Isak, former Newcastle United midfielder Dan Gosling, believes an Alexander Isak move to Liverpool would suit all parties at this stage of what has become a sour situation for all concerned. Isak has reportedly made it clear that he won't play for the Magpies again, having seen a £110 million offer by the Reds rejected at the start of August, and the Sweden international has played no part in their summer schedule so far. Isak was left out of the friendly loss to Celtic last month before citing a minor thigh issue as a reason to avoid flying out on their preseason tour of the Far East. Liverpool, it is understood, are prepared to hold off re-entering negotiations while Newcastle are trying to bring in a successor for Isak. But with less than 3 weeks left of the window, time is of the essence at St. James's Park, particularly for Howe's nephew Andy, who is overseeing transfer activity this summer in lieu of a sporting director. Gosling, who played for the Magpies for 4 years between 2010 and 2014, told Sky Sports News, "I do wonder if all the noise is coming from Isak or Isak's camp. That's probably the big factor in this. I don't believe professionals are bad lads, bad personalities. I think he fits in well with everything they have done up there the last few years. I think he is one of the main leaders in the dressing room. So for him to come out and say those things, that he won't play again for Newcastle, I'm not too sure. But it's getting a little bit sour now up there, and I think for everyone, to get it done sooner rather than later, and it looks like Isak is on his way out. I think before these last comments come out about him never playing for the club again, I still wonder if that's him or his representatives. If it is him, then I don't see any way back. With that statement, I think there's only one way, and that is to sell him for as much money as you can get. But Liverpool have got to pay the money. Everyone is talking about Liverpool. I don't see any other clubs stumping that amount up. If Liverpool don't pay it, then Newcastle are well within their rights to say, "No, you're not leaving." There's 3 years left on his contract, and if the window shuts and he's still there, I am sure there is a way back. I am sure there will be reintegration. Newcastle have reportedly set a £150 million price tag for Isak, and the Premier League champions offer at the beginning of the month was instantly rejected. Alexander Isak may no longer be a Liverpool priority in move-on verdict. The star striker is digging his heels in for a move to Liverpool. Alexander Isak could still arrive at Anfield before the end of the window. Alexander Isak is digging his heels in at Newcastle United, trying to force the club to sell him in the 3 weeks between now and the end of the transfer window. But some fans in the Echo comments section are saying that Liverpool may well need to turn their attention to other issues first, which may scupper the whole deal. Newcastle rejected Liverpool's first bid for their star striker, Isak, and there has been no movement on the Reds' end since. Journalist David Ornstein reports that Isak has no wish to reintegrate with the Magpies squad after being made to train alone, even if he isn't sold this summer. Isak will not feature for Newcastle's Premier League opener against Aston Villa, according to manager Eddie Howe, showing that the relationship between the player and the club has broken down. Newcastle's public position is still that he is not for sale and will be priced accordingly, and it remains to be seen whether any other club will be able to strike a deal for the 25-year-old between now and the end of the window. Some fans think that Isak is no longer the priority for Liverpool, and that events may have passed him by, with the Reds' defense now the focus. Reader WHUIU 2003 says, Isak is a good player, but as a Liverpool fan, I wouldn't want the club to spend £100 million on him. That money would be better spent on getting a good CB. Just move on and build the squad. Commenter. Feshield agrees. We should have dropped the Isak issue ages ago and gone elsewhere. We definitely need a CB as well, so we need to get a move on. Gill says Isak may not be the type of striker they need. I reiterate, it was a mistake to sell Nunez. The defensive weakness is pretty obvious, and it will be costly. Buying Isak is a waste of time and money. We need strong forwards who can fight for the ball. Others say that the Community Shield loss showed that Liverpool still need forwards. Brewski too writes, "We cannot lose 3 forwards and replace them with 1 and expect to get the same results." When Ekitike came off in the Palace game, we had no one up front, no recognized striker. We need a couple of strikers unless Slot intends to use Rio. If that's the case, we still need a world-class striker. Things are getting too close to the wire with the Isak transfer for my liking, but who knows? We may hopefully pull it off. Goyh is a must for my money. Should we have any injuries during the season, we will have a hole we cannot fill. If Rodrigo is willing to make the switch to Liverpool, then we need to do it, before the likes of Arsenal and City make a move. Biggin says, "It's looking unlikely we will sign Isak, which will be a major blow. There is no way we win the league with our present attack and defense." On our Facebook page, Sharon Lowe says, "Isak has made all the right moves in his decision to want to play for Liverpool. Now they need to put in the right offer to prove their intent." Ben Spindler writes, "Ekitike was brilliant at Wembley, but I think Isak scores the two he missed, and we win that into the 90, taking nothing away from Palace though." DD says, "After the game yesterday, after the haste to sell Diaz and Nunez, we should buy him." JT adds, £150 million is not worth it. Go get 2 more CBs in, then sign another affordable striker. Newcastle fans are naive. They talked about punishing Isak by putting him on reserves, not playing him, not paying him, etc. I'd say go ahead, do that to an already disgruntled player. By January, the fans in Eddie Howe can't wait to offload Isach. Why Liverpool can't afford to wait 12 months for Mark Goyh, as Oliver Glasner's stance revealed. Liverpool are interested in signing both Mark Goyh and Giovanni Laney this summer, but there is one they simply cannot afford to miss out on. Mark Goyh of Crystal Palace continues to be linked with a move to Liverpool. They say you wait ages for a bus and then 2 come along at once. That very much seems to be the case for Liverpool, with centre-back long viewed by supporters as a position in desperate need of reinforcement this summer. With Joe Gomez's persistent injury issues and the sale of Jarell Quansah to Bayer Leverkusen, Arne Slot heads into Friday's Premier League opener against Bournemouth with just 2 fit senior centre-backs at his disposal. That may be about to change, however, with Liverpool stepping up their pursuit of not just Crystal Palace's Mark Goyh, but also Parma teenager Giovanni Laney, hence 2 arriving at once. Palace chairman Steve Parish admitted over the weekend, following the London club's Community Shield triumph over Liverpool on penalties, that they cannot afford to lose Goyh for free next summer. His comments strongly suggested a deal could be done before the transfer deadline, unless a new contract is agreed. While some reports suggest Liverpool's pursuit of Goyh is progressing well, others have taken a more cautious view. The Guardian's Ed Aarons claims Palace boss Oliver Glasner would prefer to keep the 25-year-old and see out his contract as they prepare for a European campaign, albeit only in the UEFA Europa Conference League. That same report adds that Goyh is prepared to remain at Palace for 1 more year if a deal cannot be agreed. It's also worth noting that clubs such as Barcelona and Juventus are expected to show interest next summer should he become a free agent, which only adds urgency for Liverpool to act now and avoid competition down the line. Goyh may favor a switch to Anfield this summer, according to reports, but that could easily change if one of Europe's other heavyweights such as Barcelona joins the race. He represents the ideal addition to Slot's squad this summer as they aim to retain their Premier League title and mount a deeper run in the Champions League. Simply put, Liverpool cannot afford to miss out on him. As already mentioned, depth at centre-back is a serious concern, and the season hasn't even truly begun. Quansah is gone, Gomez is injured, and only Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate are fit and available. There may be some versatility in the squad, with midfielders like Ryan Gravenberch and Wataru Endo capable of filling in if needed, but Liverpool have already learned the hard way what a lack of depth can do. During the injury crisis of 2020-21, they lost the ability to defend their title and almost missed out on a top 4 finish entirely. Leone alone cannot be viewed as sufficient depth for a squad aiming to compete on all fronts. At just 18 and with only 1 full senior season under his belt, he should be seen as one for the future. A smart signing to get ahead of the curve before other top clubs come calling further down the line. Goyh, however, is a signing for the present and is someone who would provide Liverpool with the depth and quality to rotate Van Dijk and Konate regularly. That's a luxury Slot arguably lacked last season. as he clearly didn't place full trust in Quansah, and that was reflected in the 22-year-old's limited minutes. Liverpool were right to move Quansah on, as he will benefit from being first choice elsewhere. The inclusion of a buyback clause in the deal suggests the club recognizes his potential and have left the door open for a future return. But that move only makes sense if the player brought in to replace him is an upgrade and capable of making an immediate impact. Goyh is that player. His quality, leadership, and contract situation make him a no-brainer. It's also worth remembering that Liverpool face a similar dilemma with Konate, who is now entering the final year of his own contract. Whether a renewal can be agreed remains to be seen, and it is no surprise Real Madrid are reportedly keeping a close eye on the situation. Goyh's arrival would provide a buffer against that scenario. He would already have a year under his belt if Konate were to depart, which would soften the blow and ensure continuity. And with minimal, if any, competition for his signature this summer, Goyh is simply a signing Liverpool cannot afford to wait on, or risk missing out on altogether. Liverpool submit €145 million offer for Alexander Isak. Liverpool have reportedly submitted a fresh bid worth €145 million for one-away Newcastle United striker Alexander Isak. The Sweden superstar is desperate to join Arne Slot's side before the summer transfer window ends on the 1st of September, and Liverpool have lodged a second offer for his services, having seen their opening bid of €127.5 million, £110 million, rejected. That is according to ex-account Indy Kayla, who posted on social media. The situation with Alexander Isak at Newcastle United is reaching a boiling point. Tensions are so high that some officials and players are completely ignoring him around the training ground. It's clear there's a rift. Sources suggest that Captain Jamal Lascelles has even advised the club owners to consider Isak's wishes, indicating that this isn't just a minor issue, could affect harmony going forward. Adding to the saga, Isak has been told to avoid being seen alone in Newcastle city centre while Liverpool's interest is ongoing. We understand Liverpool are offering £120 million up front, with potential add-ons pushing the total bid to a staggering £125 million, €145 million. Newcastle United haven't rejected this latest proposal, but will only accept once new replacements arrive. Nicholas Jackson, Chelsea, Yoane Wissa, Brentford, and Samu Agahawa, Porto, have all been linked with a move to Newcastle in recent weeks, with the club moving on to alternative targets after losing the battle to sign both Hugo Ekitike and Benjamin Sesko. Isak handed in a transfer request in late July, while he reportedly has left his home in Newcastle after being excluded from a family day last week. What has Eddie Howe said about Alexander Isak? Newcastle boss Eddie Howe has been asked about Isak's future on a number of occasions throughout pre-season, but he has remained tight-lipped regarding questions over the Sweden star's long-term future at St. James's Park. After Newcastle's 2-0 defeat to Atletico Madrid on Sunday, Howe told reporters, "I think everything is in play. I've said many times he is contracted to us. He is our player. The club make the decision on his future. I don't know what that will be. Of course I have a preferred outcome. I want the best and the strongest squad possible, but I also want players that really want to play for this football club." Isak, who scored 27 goals in 42 games last season, has 3 years remaining on his current contract at Newcastle, while his estimated transfer value, ETV, stands at €117.1 million.